Welcome back to the Final K. We have got stage 5 of the Tirreno Adriatico at the moment. Yes, I'm late again, apologies. We've got 25k to go, so we do. There's a breakaway at the front, two riders, Valgren and Alaphilippe. They've just attacked from the other breakaway, which consisted of Verstring, Jack Haig and Zimmerman. So that is what is happening at the moment. They are currently, let me check, 218 up the road on the breakaway, or on the peloton, sorry. Changes to 25. But yes, we've got, like I said, two up the front, Alaphilippe, Valgren, three behind, and then I think Edward Plancart of Alpecin. He's off the back of the Jack Haig group, but hasn't been caught by the peloton just yet. Alaphilippe is looking pretty strong. The breakaway was about 4 last time. I think about 4 minutes. I think they might have hit 5 minutes, but last time I seen it was about 4 minutes was the maximum. And the peloton have brought it down now to 2:17. UAE have been pacing quite a lot at the front. Barry and Victorious was at the front as well, but they were at the front with Peo Bilbao and Butrago, but it looks like Tiberi's struggling in the main group. He seems to be looked like he was dropping actually out of the peloton, but he seemed to just be holding on to the back. We've got 4 UAE riders at the front, the last of them being Isaac Del Toro. Then on his wheel is Pellizzari. Pellizzari's also got a teammate with him. And then there's a couple Ineos maybe. That's Roglic he's 2 teammates. He's Roglic and someone else from Red Bull. There's one Ineos rider, Filippo Ganna's dropped, and I think that's Arnsman. Then there is Matteo Jorgensen. Let me check, 194. Is that right? Yeah, Matteo Jorgensen, 194. He's just on the wheel of Arnsman, so he is. What's going on, Right Hound? Yes. Tirreno up first, so we have. That is what's happening. I actually hope Alaphilippe wins this. I'd like to see a breakaway win. For once. Valgren at the front of these two, Alaphilippe on his wheel. They just seem to be on a very steep section here of this second to last climb. There's 500 meters of this climb left to go. So there is 12 seconds on the Jack Haig group chasing them. Jack Haig at the front of that group, Zimmerman on the wheel. The guy from Alpecin looked to be struggling there, but he got back on. But they're good. I think after this, Alaphilippe is. I'm going to assume you mean by throwing down that means good, but he if that's what you mean, he does look in good shape at this moment. He's only 1:20 down, so he is. So I heard, I think the commentator said, but they need to bring it down another. Let me work this out. They need to bring it down another 50 seconds. So that's how long the peloton need to bring it down for Alaphilippe not to go into the leader of the GC. So 23.4k to go in this. The Paris-Nice there is 72k. So let's hope that they quicken up the pace in the Paris-Nice. Well, he did have a teammate with him, so he did. But he seems to be struggling in this group with Jack Haig and Zimmerman. So he does. Zimmerman, Plancart from Alpecin. He dropped off now. I think the peloton have swallowed him, but he doesn't seem to have much left in him for the rest of this race, unless he's hiding something, but it doesn't look it. We've got UAE now going up this steep part, so do they have 500 meters? It looks like they might have 500 meters to go. Where am I in the race? Because Hold on, am I behind? Am I broadcast? No. Oh no, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong lines. No, so the peloton are just about to hit the top of this mountain. The category 2, is it category 2? They're about to hit the top of it anyway. The peloton has dwindled down quite a bit. Tiberi's still at the back of this of the peloton, so he is. Doesn't look too good for him. We've got Valgren and Alaphilippe here coming round for the second passage of the finish line. Now I've actually when they did the finish line earlier, I was watching on my phone, and it does look pretty good. So I hope there is some sort of group, and it's not just one rider, because a sprint in like a bunch, or like a smaller group, or a couple of riders, does look pretty good for this finish. They come down a descent, it's very fast, and then they're uphill slightly all the way to the finish. The bell rings as Alaphilippe and Valgren cross the line now for the last, well, not the last time, but the second last time. Jack Haig, Zimmerman, and Emil are coming up now. They're just round the final bend, and they will soon be hitting it. Should have stat there that on PCS that the most dropouts in the Tirreno, Mark Cavendish. 6 times he's dropped out of it. "14 seconds on the Jack Haig group for Alaphilippe. And in the Pyrenees, actually I'll go through the Tirreno first. The people that didn't start for the Pyrenees was Van Wilder from Quickstep. He didn't start this stage, and then there was a rider from Q36.5, Maurice. Sandro Maurice, I think, and then Gaviria from Caja Real. He abandoned during the stage. I think the Pyrenees, I seen it earlier, Oscar Onley pulled out. So quite a lot more riders pulling out off the Pyrenees again today. 4 people didn't start, and 2 people have pulled out during the stage. Rick Plumers from Tudor, Ivan Romeo from Movistar, Oscar Onley from Ineos, Julien Bernard from Little Trek, they all didn't start. And then Markel from Picnic Post abandoned, and Fabio Christen from Pinarello abandoned. Jeez, that's like 30 plus riders abandoning the Pyrenees. UAE still at the front. They've been at the front here for the past 20-30k. Putting a lot of effort into the front of this peloton. They're down to 2 riders now. Del Toro, the third rider, he sat on the wheel, but Pellizzari and Roglic on the wheel of Del Toro. And then there's Healy, and is that Carapaz with him? Yep, Healy and Carapaz, and then Matteo Jorgensen as well at the front. Behind him is, who's that? Is that Magnus Sheffield? Seems to be Magnus Sheffield, and then I'm assuming Tobias Halland Johannesson there as well. Tiberi has moved back up, so he's just on the wheel of Tobias Halland Johannesson. So he has moved back up. We're into the final 20k now. I forgot to check who the favourites were for this stage, so I'm gonna have to make up my own. So there's 2 minutes, 20k left. I'm going to assume a breakaway will get this one, but I'll do a poll anyway. So I will. Winner stage 5. Let's do 4 options. GC rider, and then let's go other, because you always have to add another in there. So there's a poll there if you want to go, and there's 4 options: Alaphilippe, Valgren, GC rider, but I mean just anyone from the peloton really, and then another other for any other rider. So I think the way it's looking, I'm going to go with Alaphilippe. He looks very strong. I hope it's Alaphilippe. What stage was it? Was it yesterday's stage? I said he would win yesterday's stage. He was nowhere near, but it'd be good to see him win a stage here at Tirreno. 26 seconds now for the Jack Haig group, so it is increasing, this group, the time on it. 2 minutes and 4 seconds on the peloton, so it does, the way it is looking, it does look like Valgren and Alaphilippe are going all the way as it stands. But they've still got the, oh dear, the Santur, I'm not even gonna, I don't even want to, it's the Beto Sante climb, don't want to pronounce that first word, but it's 4.2 kilometers long, has an average of 6.2%. Let me see if I can get the, let's see if I can, so, yeah. The first kilometer is the steepest of the climb to come. They've already done it there, that was the previous climb they did, but first kilometer is around 8.9%, then kilometer 2 and 3, 2.2, 4.1, and then the final kilometer is around 8.8%. Who do you think will win this stage? Well, at the moment, like I said, I said earlier there that the way it's looking, there's two riders up the front, Michael Valgren from EF Education and Julian Alaphilippe. The way it looks at the moment, it looks like Julian Alaphilippe is looking pretty strong. But here, I'm going to go with Julian Alaphilippe. I would like to see him win it. I think there's a 2 minute gap with 17k to go. So unless there is, and UAE are only down to 2 teammates, and I don't see them using both to bring this back. I can see them using one more and then just keeping one with Del Toro. So I don't think the peloton are going to win this stage. I think it's going to be a breakaway one. Vermarke and who's that? Vermarke and Cosnefroy. Benoit Cosnefroy and Vermarke are the two teammates from UAE left. What that corner there was a bit tight. I think Van der Poel's still in this group, so I do. I think I see him there. Emil now dropping off the back of the Jack Haig group, so it's second name, Verstrange, I think. He's dropped out of the Jack Haig and Zimmerman group, so it is just up to them two to bring back the 37-second gap on Alaphilippe and Valgren. The peloton is now under 2 minutes down. So the peloton's now 2 minutes down on this breakaway. Tiberi is now dropping. Ooh. Tiberi drops out of the peloton. That isn't good for him. Oh dear. After a good UAE tour, that is not good for Tiberi. Who's that as well? Vendrame from Jayco, he's dropping out the back as well. Someone from Groupama, 2 riders from Groupama, it looks like. No, it seems to just be one, but the front still remains the same. UAE are at the front. Del Toro's there, Pellizzari's there, Roglic is there, Magnus Sheffield, Arnsman, Carapaz, Healy, Tobias Hallen Johannesson. I think that is Pello Bilbao of Bahrain or Santiago Buitrago, one of those two. Anyone else? Giulio Ciccone, I think, still there as well. Is Van der Poel still there? Yep, I see Van der Poel in the back of this the peloton group, so Van der Poel's still there. I don't think Van Aert is there though. As Tobias Hallen Johannesson, he breaks from the he attacks from the peloton here. Not really any reaction from the peloton. UAE still just keeping the tempo at the front as Johannesson goes up the road. Go on, Johannesson. I'd like to see him win, so I would. And who's that from Ineos? Someone from Ineos is attacking. That is Tyne Arnsman. So he's attacking out the front as well. So here we go. We're getting the attacks here. 15k to go. Well, 15.4k to go for anyone that likes the specifics. But who's that? That is Carapaz, actually. Carapaz at the front trying to bring back Arnsman. Arnsman sits up. Tobias Hallen Johannesson still putting down the foot though, with a decent gap on the rest of the peloton as Alaphilippe and Michael Valgren now just pass under the 15km to go banner. So it's getting pretty interesting now with a few attacks on the... Well, that wasn't even a categorized climb or anything. It's just a hill. So quite a lot happened there. Taberi dropped. Tobias Hallen Johannesson attacked. Arnsman attacked. Carapaz bridged across. I can't speak. Carapaz bridged across and brought him back. We've got Verstrange. I'm going to call him a male. Anyway, so a male from Alpecin, he's caught back to Jack Haig and Zimmerman. They are still 33 seconds behind the Alaphilippe group. But it does look like Alaphilippe is going the whole way with Valgren here. 1 minute 47, so they are bringing them back, just not as quickly as you would expect. Tobias Hallen Johannesson, he has about a 5-second gap on the peloton here. So he does. But he is getting reeled in pretty quickly by UAE. Yeah, he's going to get caught here within the next 10 seconds. UAE and Magnus Sheffield are dragging him back in. So that is Tobias Hallen Johannesson back in the peloton. If there is a few attacks on this final climb, that 1 minute and 40 could go down pretty quickly, because I think it's Vermarke. It's either Vermarke or Cosnefroy from UAE are at the front currently, and they're putting down the foot here. Alaphilippe's 1 minute and 20 down, so if he does end up winning it, the peloton need to bring it down another 18 seconds to make sure Alaphilippe doesn't go into the leader's jersey. I think Michael Valgren's 9 minutes 20 down, so he's no issue for the general classification. But they are working together. Alaphilippe moves to the front now, so it's not as if just one rider is pulling. Oh. How long's left in the Paris-Nice stage here? 59 kilometers to go in the Paris-Nice. There's a breakaway up the road in it as well. Josh Tarling, Igo Arrieta, Steph Kras and Arthur Klockers, the Luxembourg national champion for a shooter. So then them four up the road with 1 minute and 20, so it doesn't look like a breakaway is winning that stage. I had it the other way around. I had a breakaway. Well, I didn't have. I thought a breakaway would potentially win the Paris-Nice, and the Tirreno was going to be won by GC, but it looks like it is swapping over, unless the Tirreno's peloton can keep this tempo up. Actually, no, I think I said on my TikTok that I think I was going for GC day in the Paris-Nice because I went with Harold Tejada. So Kevin Vermarke just moved off the front of the. He's away at the back of the peloton now. His work is done for. His work's done for the day. 1 minute and 37 on the Alaphilippe group, so it doesn't look like Alaphilippe's going into the the blue jersey today. That is the GC on your screen on the right hand side. As you see, Giulio Pellizzari moved into the blue jersey after yesterday's sprint against Van der Poel, where he came second, took the bonus second. So Isaac Del Toro moves into second, 2 seconds down. Primoz Roglic into third, 21 seconds. Matteo Jorgensen, he is fourth, 34 seconds down. And Ben Healy, the man from Ireland, he is fifth, 39 seconds down. So he is. So the profile of the final 10 kilometers there was released on PCS. Kilometer from the 6th kilometer to the 5th kilometer, it's 9%. Then it eases off a bit for 2, so that's when they're on the climb. And then from kilometer 3 to kilometer 2, it is an average of 8%. And then it's a descent down to the finish. But the Jacquet groups, it looks like it is going to be caught by the peloton eventually. There's 47 seconds from them to Julian Alaphilippe. So it is just under a minute, I'd say about 50 seconds. No, that's wrong. What way am I trying to work this out here? 50, 10, about 40, 45 seconds from them to the peloton, so it is. So they should be brought in before maybe the top of, obviously before the top of the climb, but they should be brought in before the bottom of it, I think. 11.3k to go at the moment. Red Bull have now moved to the front. Who is that for Red Bull? Is that Jai Hindley? There was someone from Red Bull did crash earlier before they hit the finish line for the first time. Isaac Del Toro moves off the side of the road for a moves off the side of the road to take a piss. Valgren getting a couple of water bottles there at the front of the race. But I want to know who that is for. It is Jai Hindley. Yeah. So Jai Hindley is pulling at the front of the peloton now for Red Bull. Apart from him, there's 2 other Red Bull riders in the peloton. There's Roglic and obviously Pellizzari. I think Kosnefar from UAE is the only remaining teammate for Isaac Del Toro. But I think they said 4.7 to the foot of the final climb of the day. Isaac Del Toro here just at the back of the peloton. So he's like the last rider in the peloton at the moment. Doesn't look to be. I think it was just because he was at the toilet, but I don't. There's no issues. I don't think. Actually, 67% think a GC rider's getting it, and 33% say Julian Alaphilippe is getting this one. Into the final 10k now for the breakaway at the front, Julian Alaphilippe and Valgren. So they have 10k to go. 1 minute 30 to the peloton, so it is the time is coming down, just not very quickly. So I do think the breakaway is getting this one, unless there is a few attacks at the peloton and they and Alaphilippe and Valgren run out of steam, but 47 seconds for the Jacquet group, so they're 40 seconds in front of the peloton. Del Toro still at the back of the peloton here. Doesn't seem to be moving up, and I don't think there's much need to move up at the moment. but we have got someone from UAE still pulling at the front, 2 Bahrain riders at the just behind him, which I think is Peo Bilbao and Santiago Buitrago. And then behind them is the Red Bull riders. Whole peloton single file at the moment. 2.5 kilometers to the foot of the climb for Alaphilippe and Michael Valgren. As Bahrain Victorious move to the front of the peloton now, both riders. I think they're setting up for a Buitrago attack here on this final climb. The maximum on the final climb is 15%, so it is. Alaphilippe at the front of the breakaway. Valgren just on his wheel. $7.5k to go. The peloton is now 1 minute and 17 down, so the time is going down pretty quickly there. 13 seconds in the past kilometer. So it's getting down to the wire here. Because if there are a few attacks, it could go down quite quickly. Is Van der Poel still in the group? I think he might get dropped though on the final climb if there is an attack. Del Toro is now on the wheel of Pellizzari. He's moving his way back up. Pellizzari sat in about the middle of the peloton as Del Toro moves up the left hand side of him just to go in front of him. Ciccone, 2 riders in front of Del Toro. We need another yawn. Oh fuck. 6.9k. So they're just showing here the virtual general classification at the moment. Alaphilippe moves into third, 2 seconds down, tied second with Del Toro, 2 seconds down. Roglic and Jorgensen 4th and 5th. They're showing a head-to-head between Alaphilippe and Valgren on PCS for the last 10 times that them two have raced together. Julian Alaphilippe has had the better result 6 times. Valgren's had the better result 4 times. And they've 0.6k to the foot of this final climb. Just a reminder on the climb, it is 4.2 kilometers, has an average of 6.2%, but the first kilometer and the last kilometer off the climb are sitting at around 8.5 to 9%, so they are the hardest on that climb. The middle 2 kilometers, it sort of flattens out. Bahrain Victorious still, well, not right at the front, but they are the second and third rider at the moment in the peloton. Cosnefroid is still pulling quite hard for UAE. Obviously trying to get that, at this point, I'm assuming they're trying to get the victory for Del Toro. Alaphilippe still at the front of this breakaway. Is he using too much energy though? That's a question to ask. Michael Valgren just attacks Julian Alaphilippe, and Alaphilippe can't really react. There's a gap here. Oh dear. Oh dear. Valgren goes off here. And the gap just increases. Alaphilippe is doesn't look like he's winning this here. Valgren is moved off to the front. The gap seems to already be about 5 seconds. Oh dear. Well, that was some battle. They're onto the climb now. They've hit the foot of the climb. It is very steep at this part, but Valgren has he just cycled past Alaphilippe, and Alaphilippe couldn't react. I think he did too much work at the front of the group. Alaphilippe. Valgren, just check there, he's the winner of Amstel and Omloop in 2018. He's won the Tour of Denmark twice, so he isn't he's not a rider to mess with, to be honest. As UAE get out of the saddle and attack at the front as he moves off, that's him done. So Barry and Victorious move to the front now. Roglic attacks on the left, is it? Looks like Roglic is attacking out the front here. Santiago Buitrago and his wheel. Carapaz trying to stay on Buitrago's wheel. They've hit the bottom of the climb now. 48 seconds to the front. Who else is still there? Ciccone, Healy. Healy's still there. Jorgensen, Del Toro, Pellizzari. Johannesson's still there as well. As Del Toro moves to the front of this group with Buitrago on the wheel, Johannesson on the left. But it looks like Del Toro is going to try and power this up to the top. Johannesson on his wheel. Well, two riders beside each other behind Del Toro is Buitrago and Johannesson. A lot of riders just straight out the back. Del Toro out of the saddle. He's still got, there's a gap opening up behind Roglic and Carapaz to Pellizzari, but he's closing that down. Healy struggling to stay on the back. So we've got Del Toro, Johannesson, Buitrago, Jorgensen, Roglic, Pellizzari, Carapaz struggling to hold on now, and Ciccone. So it looks like both EF Education riders are struggling at the moment. Valgren still on his own. 5k to go now for Valgren. Arnsman out the back, he's gone. But they need to get a camera on this front group. They've got Alaphilippe, he's crossing the 5 kilometre banner now. 25 seconds on Valgren. The Pellizzari group's 43 seconds on Valgren, so 20 seconds from them to Alaphilippe. Right, we've got a camera on the front group. Del Toro, Jorgensen, Roglic, Buitrago, Pellizzari, Johannesson and Ciccone. So Carapaz and Healy both struggling. There's only one EF Education rider there now off the back of this group. Who is it though? It might be Carapaz. As they pass the 5 kilometre banner now. I can't work out which EF Education rider that is. I think it is Carapaz. Yeah, and as he makes it back onto the back of this group. 2.9 kilometres to go to the top of this climb. So it is. Del Toro gets out of the saddle, accelerates at the front. Jorgensen straight onto his wheel. Everyone else out of the saddle trying to get there. Buitrago, I'm surprised. Buitrago's still there. Fair play to him after Tiberi drops. But no issues for Del Toro. Out of the saddle, riding very, very hard, but no issues. A gap is a small gap from Jorgensen to Buitrago opens up as they are onto a small descent here. There's Alaphilippe, gets caught by the group. Fair play to Alaphilippe. That was a good day from him today. Another good breakaway. He had a good breakaway in the Volta Algarve. So that's another one. Hopefully one day it will stick. Carapaz off the back of the group again, struggling to get back on as Alaphilippe tries to lock onto the back. I don't think he will stay there for too long, but Del Toro's still at the front, pacing quite hard. Is that Ben Healy? No, it's Valgren in the front of the race. So Valgren has 3.5 kilometres over the 43-second gap. Roglic on the wheel of Pellizzari. We're just talking to each other there. Valgren has 1.6 kilometres to go to the top of this climb. The Del Toro group 47 seconds down on him, so still possible for a win here from the GC group. Carapaz launches from the back on the left-hand side. That was unexpected there as Carapaz goes. No reaction from Del Toro, obviously, because he's 1:20 down, but not the biggest threat to the GC, but he does go. He launches, which is good to see because he did look out of it there. Valgren, he just I think he crossed the 3 kilometer banner there, so we've got 3k to go. So the only one that has a teammate is Pellizzari. He's got Roglic. The rest of them are on their own. The Magnus Sheffield group, the white jersey, they are 1 minute and 8 seconds down on the front of the race. Whereas the Isaac Del Toro, they are 50 seconds down. So not a big gap between the Isaac Del Toro and the Magnus Sheffield group here. Carapaz goes under the 3 kilometer banner. You can still see Del Toro, Jorgensen and co in the background. And you can actually see that the white jersey group, they're on the 3 kilometer banner now. And they're just about to hit the back of this Isaac Del Toro group. As they get there, they're still not quite there. But they're there now. So one big group here going into the final. Well, Valgren's on the final 1 kilometer of this climb. I'm going to assume Del Toro's nearly at the Del Toro's nearly got 1k to go as Del Toro at the front gets out of the saddle and accelerates, and they cut the camera away from him. Got the camera on Carapaz here. As you can see, Del Toro in the distance just around the corner behind him, closing him down. Jorgensen's still on his wheel. Buitrago's still there. Jorgensen's doing good to stay on Del Toro's wheel as Del Toro comes around the left-hand side of Carapaz. Right past him, Jorgensen's still on the wheel of Del Toro. Giulio Pellizzari, there's a gap from Jorgensen to him. But it looks like Isaac Del Toro's ripping this apart. Pellizzari's struggling to... He's out of the saddle now, but Roglic on the wheel of Pellizzari. Johannesson on the wheel of Roglic. Go around the bend here. Jorgensen still about 1 or 2 bike lengths to the back of Del Toro. Quite a decent gap from Jorgensen to Pellizzari as he's still trying to bring them back. But the gaps are starting to open here. Roglic moves around the left-hand side of Pellizzari to try and bring this gap back. So the group of Pellizzari contains Roglic, Pellizzari, Ciccone and Johannesson. Up the road is Jorgensen, and then a couple bike lengths in front is Del Toro. But Del Toro straight out of the saddle again. Attack, attack, attack. There's a gap now forming from Pellizzari to Roglic. I think Roglic is out of steam here. 0.4k to go. Is this for this group or is this for Valgren? I think it might be for the peloton. As 27 seconds from Isaac Del Toro to Michael Valgren. Jorgensen has made it back to the wheel of Del Toro. That is good to see. 1.9k to go, so we're into the final 2 kilometers here. Well, for Valgren, that is. I'm going to assume that Del Toro isn't that far behind. Pellizzari now drops Roglic and co. His foot clips out of the pedal. Does he have an issue with his bike? I think he's waiting for Primoz Roglic. He had gapped him, but he slowed up there. Valgren here just hitting the top of the climb right about now. At this point, I'm rooting for Valgren here. 22 seconds from Isaac Del Toro to Valgren as he hits the top of the climb just now. So it is on to the descent for him. Jorgensen now attacks Del Toro. Jorgensen attacks Del Toro. Del Toro's still in the saddle. No gap created though. Del Toro waving all over the bike here. It doesn't look like he has much left either, but he's still holding on to the back. Johannesson now drops from that group of 4. No, never mind. Johannesson attacks that group of 4. Pellizzari, Roglic and Ciccone are a 3 now as Johannesson attacks out the front of them, trying to bridge across to Jorgensen and Del Toro as Pellizzari, Ciccone and Roglic just cross the top of the climb there now. 1.3k to go for Valgren. 12 seconds from Valgren to Isaac Del Toro. 31 seconds from Pellizzari to Valgren. So what is that? 18 seconds. It's down to 30. So 18 seconds from Pellizzari to Del Toro. The gaps are starting to open up for the GC standing here. Del Toro now at the front of this Jorgensen pair. Jorgensen on his wheel. 12 seconds now from Del Toro to... Oh no, he's going to get him, isn't he? They go into the 1 kilometre banner, so we have 1k left to go at stage 5 of the Tirreno Adriatico, as we've got Michael Valgren at the front. 13 seconds down the road, Del Toro and Jorgensen. Then there is Johannesson. Behind him is a group of 3, Pellizzari, Roglic and Ciccone. They are 29 seconds down the road. But Valgren has 0.6k to go. Come on, Valgren, please win this. Please win this. Don't let Del Toro win it. He's won enough. And he's going to win enough. So Valgren, he's finished the descent. He's on to the finals, well, the final 700 metres, but there is the final 200 metres, apologies. There's a rise to the finish. He's out of the saddle, sprinting. It looks like he is going to get this, thankfully. As he comes around the final corner, Michael Valgren of EF Education. Finish line in sight. Arms in the air. Bellingham celebration. Punches the sky and he crosses the line. Michael Valgren, former Danish champ. EF Education comes first. Del Toro and Jorgensen come around the final corner here as Del Toro gets out of the saddle, sprints. Jorgensen sprinting with him. No gap open there though. They both cross the line at 12 seconds. Johannesson now comes around this final bend. He is currently 17 seconds down. He gets out of the saddle, sprinting. How far does he get? There's Ciccone, Pellizzari and Roglic not crossing the line. Johannesson got about 23 seconds. Ciccone 27. Pellizzari is 29. Roglic 30. Don't know if they're going to group a few of them or not, but then we've got another group here. NSN, Tudor and Buitrago. So I think that might be Pinarello. Can't remember who's riding for NS. Corbin Strong, no? I don't know, but that was Michael Storr, I think. I didn't see the rainbow of Julian Alaphilippe. But the Buitrago for Bahrain there came. I think he might have got top 10. So I know the top 5. I'm going to wait for the top 10 and then swap over to the Paris-Nice. But that is some win for Valgren. Previous Amstel and Omloop winner. Oh. Now there's Alaphilippe, so I think it was Michael Storr that crossed the line with Buitrago, and I can't remember the other rider. But Alaphilippe, he's crossing the line here with someone from Q36.5, about 1 minute 35 down. Quintana and Javier Rumo were in the group that finished behind Buitrago with Magnus Sheffield in it. So another win for EF Education. They're obviously winning in the Paris-Nice with Luc Lamperti, but they continue winning here at the Tirreno with Michael Valgren, breakaway winner. I want to see the poll here. So the poll had 8 votes. No one voted for Valgren. And he won. We had 38% for Alaphilippe, 38% for GC rider, and 25% for other. So no one voted for Valgren, and he ended up winning. Right, so this is the preliminary results for the... I'm going to assume that they got them right here because there was no big bunch finishes. So Michael Valgren of EF Education, he comes in first. Del Toro in second. Matteo Jorgensen third. Tobias Hallen Johannesson gets another fourth at this Tirreno. He got fourth in stage 2. Giulio Ciccone is in fifth. Pellizzari 6th. Roglic 7th. Pinarello from NSN comes in 8th. Michael Storr 9th. And Santiago Buitrago in 10th. Pellizzari finished 30 seconds down. Del Toro was 11. So what is that? Take 4 off. 26. Is that 15 second gap between Del Toro and Pellizzari, I think. Unless I've worked that out completely wrong. But Isaac Del Toro and Jorgensen both finishing on 11 seconds. They didn't do the gap for Pellizzari and Roglic. They both put them on 30 seconds. Ciccone finished 2 seconds in front of Pellizzari, and there was 6 seconds from Johannesson to Pellizzari, so he finished 24 seconds down. So yeah, very good stage 5 off the Tirreno. How long's left in the Paris-Nice? 40k to go. Look at the time in there. Exactly 40k to go. So I am going to move straight over to the Paris-Nice here. I need to get everything set up for the Paris-Nice. I'm not going off my live or anything. I'm staying on this. But I just need to sort a few things out. So let me switch over. So there's 39.9k to go. There's a breakaway of 1 minute and 22 seconds up the road. They have 6.6 kilometers until they reach the top of the Category 2 climb, the Col de Lier de Masco. I think that's it. But let me just, give me 1 second. I'm just swapping a few things on the screen here. So stage 6, 40k to go. We've got Jumbo pacing at the, well, the peloton is just sort of spread at the front. There's no one really pacing, but we've got Jumbo there, Total Energies, Bahrain, couple from Cofidis, some Red Bull, one rider from AF Education. So that is how that is looking at the moment. The breakaway riders up the front, 120 up the road, Arthur Cluckers from Tudor, the Luxembourg champion. We've got Steph Kras from Quickstep, Igor Arieta from UAE, and Joshua Tarling from Ineos. They are the 4 riders up the road, currently 115 to go, or 115 gap now. I will go through the, actually whilst there's 14 people in here, I will go through the people who didn't start. So there was 4 that didn't start this stage, 3 that have pulled out. So the 4 that didn't start was Rick Plumers from Tudor. He didn't start. Ivan Romeo, Spanish champion for Movistar, he didn't start. Oscar Onley, the big main one, apparently he got sick overnight. He didn't start for Ineos. Julien Bernard from Little Trek didn't start, and then we had 3 people pull out. One of which is someone who I knew the 2 earlier. There was Nicholas Markle from Team Picnic Post NL, Fabio Christen from Pinarello, and Simon De Haers from Alpecin. So 7 more dropping out of today in the Paris-Nice. I think I said earlier, I think that's definitely over 30 now. I'm just going to move my camera over. Don't think that does much, but yes, I just need to finish up this and then I should be good to go. The time gaps in this GC now are shocking. They just get worse every stage. Like Kevin Vacklin was 3:39 yesterday. I'll tell you what he is in a second. I'm just typing it out, but he was 3:39 yesterday and he's jumped up quite a bit. Apologies if I hit my mic as well. I just hit it there, but if I hit it again and you hear a big bang, that is my mic, or my hand hitting my mic. Look at these gaps are shocking. I forgot to get the favourites for this one, but I'm sure you can guess who the main favourite is for this stage. But that is me done. That's the GC for the Paris-Nice. That is the time gaps. So we've got Jonas Vingegaard in first. We've got Daniel Martinez in second. 22 seconds or 3 minutes and 22 seconds down. Steinhauser from AF Education 5 minutes and 50. Kevin Vacklin 6 minutes 9, and Lenny Martinez moves up into 5th as David Gaudu dropped out yesterday, so he moves up into 5th. 7:37 down. Very tight race, as you can see. But yes, I want to see what the rest of the results were for the Tirreno. So I do. So I'm going to wait for the massive ad just popped up on my screen. So God knows what I've just clicked into. But I don't think I can I get off this? How do I even get on that? Apologies. I don't know if they've released the full result, but I will wait for that. As for now, 37.8 on the Paris-Nice. They are 4.5k from the top of the second category climb, or the second to last category climb. It's a category 2 climb. Let me see if I can get the info up about it. What do you call it? Côte de l'Air Damasco or whatever. So the climb itself, not really going to be a bother for the peloton. 7.2 kilometers, has an average of 4.3%, and every kilometer there's no descents in it, so that means there's no big steep bits, which brings the average down because of the descent. So it's just all 3.9, 4.1, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, so it's all sitting around 4% for this category 2 climb. A minute and 24 now for the breakaway. So it is. I will get a wee poll going here for the stage 6 of the Paris-Nice. Stage 6 winner. Søren Kragh Andersen now attacks out the front of the peloton for Little Trek, the Danish champion. He attacks out the front of the peloton. Don't know why, but he's attacked. Obviously, because Little Trek have nothing else to ride for, so might as well send someone out in the attack. What was I going to do? Where's my mouse? There it is there. So yeah, like I said, Little Trek, they don't have it, but they've lost 3 riders now. Tom Scoynes in stage 5, Julian Bernard stage 6, and most notably Juan Ayuso in stage 4. With that massive crash taking him out, he was, leading the GC. But let me see. There's a lot of dropouts here. Sorry, I'm just looking for a name. I'll just add him in. Vauquelin, and let's add Martinez into the mix, and then the last option can be other. I'll do Lenny just in case there is an issue with figuring out which Martinez I'm on about. But that is the poll there. As it loads. That's the poll out there now, so you can vote for who you think is going to win it. For my prediction, I went with Harold Tejada. So I did. I mean, it is most likely just going to be Vingegaard, but Harold Tejada looked good yesterday, as well as Lenny Martinez and Valentin Perpantre. They both look good. But I want to count the... So Visma have lost one person, Ineos have lost 1, UAE have lost 2, Little Trek 3, so I'm on 7, Bahrain have lost 2, that's 9, Groupama 1, 10, Movistar have lost 3, 13, Quickstep have lost 1, 14, Decathlon 1, 15, Jayco have lost 4, so what's that, 19? Cofidis 2, that's 21. Shooter 1, 22. Picnic 2, 23. 2 for Uno X, 25. Pinarello have lost 2, 27. And Alpecin have lost 3, 30. So it's 30, and Lotto have lost 1, so 31 riders are out of the Paris-Nice. Kevin looks strong. Yes, he did look strong yesterday. He did struggle at times, but he was able to attack and counter-attack in that group. What did he end up coming actually yesterday? What did he end up? He ended up coming in 7th, so he got 7th yesterday. There was a sprint, like a bunch sprint for 3rd, so he ended up getting 7th. But no, there was times I thought he did look like he was done, but he pulled through. A couple attacks, couple counter attacks to stop people getting away. He literally wouldn't let Lenny Martinez go. Lenny Martinez must have attacked about 5 or 6 times, and Kevin Vauquelin must have closed down about 4 of them. Barry Panther closing down the other 2, I think. But yes, Kevin Vauquelin is a strong name for the win. So the other I usually when I do like a tour, because there's 2 on at the same time, there's 8 jerseys to cover, but I'm only covering the GC. But in the other ones, I would do the points, the KOM, the youth jersey, because there's 2 on here. I would have 8 jerseys to cover. It would drive me around the bend. But Luke Lamperti still in the sprinters jersey. He's been in it from stage 1 after his win. Kasper Pedersen, he was in the KOM jersey until stage 4 when Jonas Vingegaard took it off him. So Vingegaard is in the KOM jersey. The youth classification was Lamperti for the first 2 stages. Juan Ayuso then took it on stage 3. And then Steinhauser from AF Education has had it for the last 2 stages there. So Steinhauser from AF Education in the youth jersey. And then the team, the best team was NSN for the first 2. Then it went to Ineos. Then Red Bull for stage 4. And then Ineos for stage 5. So it was. The yellow jersey, obviously, on your screen, Jonas Vingegaard. I think the favourites for this stage are Jonas Vingegaard by a mile, Kevin Vacquelin, Lenny Martinez, Daniel Felipe Martinez from Red Bull. There's that many going. I'm trying to... Parapantra, he came second yesterday. Quick-Step, he's another favourite. Harold Tejada. Matisse Rondell for Tudor, he had a good race yesterday. Obviously Steinhauser from AF Education, another good race yesterday as well. So there's quite a lot of favourites, but I mean Jonas Vingegaard is the favourite by about 5 mile. But I think Søren Kragh Andersen is still out on the road. He's got a gap now of about, he's 53 seconds down on the front 4. So he's about 22 seconds down on the peloton. Peloton's 115. Never mind, it's 47, 49 for Kragh Andersen. So he is closing them down and gaining time on the peloton. I wonder if they let the peloton go all the way. Or not, they let the breakaway go all the way. Because I highly doubt it, because it's sitting at 111, but they've got a big descent coming up here, and if... But then they've 2 climbs after, one of which being the intermediate sprint. So a couple seconds up for grabs there, which I think if Lenny Martinez gets a couple seconds on that, you could see him moving on to a podium place. I honestly can't believe second place. It looks like time gaps for the last week of the Tour de France. Like 5th is 7:37 down, and there's still this stage and 2 others to go, and tomorrow's stage is the big climb up to the finish. The front group have 500 meters to the top of this category 2 climb. I've just realized I've still got the Tirreno stage on the screen. Give me 1 second. I will get the correct stage up. We don't need to see that anymore. It's over. I'll get rid of that. Right. Let's get the correct stage here. Just need to crop it because there is quite a lot of white space at the top. Søren Kragh Andersen is at the 500. So Søren Kragh Andersen hits the 500 meter mark now. He's 37 seconds down on the front 4, which still consists of Josh Tarling, Igor Arrieta, Steph Kras, and Arthur Cluckers from Tudor. So let me see if I can change this. So properties. So that should be, so there we go. Pyrenees stage is on the screen now, if you haven't seen it, that is. So they're just coming to that, the first category 2 climb, that's where the breakaway is at. They're just about to come over the top of it. The peloton now crosses, they're 57 seconds down on the group. They've just crossed the 500 meter mark to the top of that climb. The breakaway, I think, are on the descent here now. So the King of the Mountain sprint, Igor Arrieta from UAE took the 5 points. Cluckers second with 3 points. Josh Tarling with 2 points. And Steph Kras with 1 point. Whoa. We've got the army here on the top of this climb. Tanks on all at the top of that. The two tanks on wheels at the top of that climb. As the peloton now cross the top of that climb, they're under the descent now. Kras now dropping from the front of the breakaway. He's now got a decent gap from them. It looks like he is. I think he knows that the gap is coming down, so he's moving back. The look off. I don't even know. I don't even know what I was going to say there. Steph Kras dropping from the breakaway because he knows that the peloton is going to catch him, so he's moving back to protect Panther in case he wants to attack. I don't know if that is the case, but either that or he's just struggling to hold on. But the front three, Josh Tarling, Arietta and Cluckers. Then there's Steph Kras a couple seconds down. Soren Anderson from Little Trek, he's 32 seconds down. Then the peloton 55 seconds down as they're on this descent here. 31 kilometers to go, so we're nearly in the final 30k. I will change this to 30 because I will most likely forget to by the time it hits about 15 or something. So I'm gonna go to a break. Of course I go to a break. Cofidis were just at the front of the peloton there before they went to a break, but let me go and see if I can get let me see if I can go and get the rest of the results for the Tirreno. So who's my favourite rider? At the moment, good question. My favourite rider, of all time, I've got Mark Cavendish and Contador, but my favourite rider at the moment, I like quite a lot of riders. I like obviously Van der Poel. I like Ben Healy as well. Ben Healy's a big one. But Van der Poel, Ben Healy. I like Juan Ayuso as well. Yours is Landa. It's a good rider as well. Quickstep. When's his first race? He hasn't raced yet though this year. When is he? I think is he the Catalunya? Yeah. So he's first race of the season is Catalunya. That is not next week, the week after, I think. After Milan San Remo. So it's the first time he's back for this season. But yeah, mine is I like Evenepoel as well. I wouldn't go to say he's my favourite rider, but I do like Red Bull. I do like Remco. I like Van der Poel just because he's that good. Yeah, definitely. He'll have more of a leader. But does he have a team around him though? Does he have anyone to help support him? Or do you see him just going for stage wins? But Mads Pedersen. Sorry, I like Mads Pedersen, and I like Little Trek. I think if I had to pick a team to sort of support, I don't really support. I don't think cycling is a team supporting sport. I know certain countries go for certain teams, but I do like Little Trek. I like Mads Pedersen. I think Mads Pedersen could be one of my favourite riders. I completely forgot all about him because the question just threw me off. But yeah, Mads Pedersen, Ben Healy, Van der Poel. I like Van Aert as well. There's a lot of riders. There is a lot of. I like Matthew Brennan. Paul Sexas as well. For obvious reasons, But yes, there is quite a lot of riders that I do like. But you said favourite. Do you prefer one-day races? Ooh. I like. So one-day races are brilliant, but I like stage races. The only thing I don't like about stage races are just them flat stages where you're sitting for like a couple hours and just nothing happens until the final 10 kilometers. But I do. Stage races are just, it depends. It's like flip a coin. So it is. Obviously, Tour de France is just it's different breed, but Paris as well. But if right, I will answer that. I'm gonna pick one. Just give me a minute to think about it, because there's a lot of options to weigh up here. No, I was pretty quickly weighed up. I'm gonna go stage. I prefer stage races, but I don't prefer them when they look like this Paris, when second is 3 minutes and 22 seconds down. I prefer when it is quite close. But yeah, stage races for me. What about you? Are you one day or stage races? And if you are either or, what is your favorite one? I think it's sort of obvious if you go stage races and you pick Tour de France. So if I had to pick a different one other than the Tour de France, let me actually think about that one. Probably the Giro. I actually quite like the Giro. So I do. At the mic there. Yeah, I'd probably go for the Giro if I had to pick one other than the Tour de France. Like, probably the Giro. For me. 26.7k to go. Sorry, we're back on there. We're back looking at the live images. Soren Kragh Andersen passes Steph Kras of Quickstep. So he does. They're 40, never mind. They're 42 seconds down on the front three. The peloton is 1 minute and 28 seconds down on the front three. So 7:15. I don't know why I'm trying to work it out. 8, 10, so 18, 37, 47 seconds from Kragh Andersen to the peloton. Oh. So Vingegaard has 67% of the vote, 17 go to Vauquelin and 17 go to other. So that is what I didn't even see these messages come through. Sorry, you prefer stage races. It's actually Giro for me, or the Dauphiné. Oh, actually, I forgot about the Dauphiné. It's a good race. The Tour of Guangxi for empty. Everyone's favourite race to wrap it up. But yeah, no, the Giro is a good one, and the Dauphiné is as well, because it's obviously the one before the Tour de France. So you get quite a lot of the good riders go there, and it can be quite interesting. So yeah, they are two good shoots. Bruno Amiral from Visma, just dropping off the back of the peloton here. I think his day's done. Either that or he's struggling to get back on. Stefan Kragh, is that his name? I forgot his name already. So it's not Stefan, it's Steph Kragh. He's under the back of Soren Kragh Andersen, so it doesn't look like he was waiting for the peloton. It looks like he was just struggling. What about the Tour of Oman? Ooh. That's a good shot as well. The Tour of Guangxi and the Tour of Oman. Oh, but the only thing I'd say about the Tour of Oman, or Oman, or however you want to say it, it's not World Tour. I think it should be a World Tour stage race. It's not quite there yet. Do I think a Frenchman will ever win a Tour again? Yeah, I do. I think if Sexas goes to UAE here, I mean, it looks like yours is Wout van Aert. Good selection, or good pick for your favourite rider. But if Sexas goes to UAE, I will be gutted. It'll just ruin it. But I think if Sexas stays with Decathlon are cooking. They're cooking something up. And I think if he stays, I think it is within the next 5 to 10 years, I think you could see Sexas win a Tour de France. He's definitely got Grand Tour written on him, but Tour de France is a bit different. But I do think a Frenchman will win. I think a Frenchman will obviously win at some point, but I mean, if you're talking the next 5 to 10 years, Yeah, I do think it is possible. Empty. When do you think Wout van Aert is going to win his first his first race of the year? I'm laughing because it's just, if you don't laugh, you cry. And then I will ask you as well. Do you think a Frenchman will win the Tour again? Do you think it's possible? 23.1 kilometers to go. 48 seconds from the Josh Tarling group to Soren Kragh Andersen. A minute and 31 from the breakaway to the peloton. So it is, the gap's back out to 1 minute and 30 for the front three. The gap from the Kragh Andersen group is sort of extending towards the peloton now. You don't know, you hope soon. I think everyone's hoping soon. So I do. It'll be good when he does win his first race back. Bardet was so close, but I think Saxas will be a podium finisher. Oh, so you think it'll be difficult for Saxas to win? That's a fair take. I genuinely hope that they don't send Saxas to the Tour this year. I think that could put a lot of pressure on him and could ruin him. I've been saying that they should send him to the Vuelta, because the Giro obviously has Eunice. But the Vuelta, steeper climbs. And if he wants to, win up the steeper climbs at the Tour de France, a good place to practice that is at the Vuelta for your first Grand Tour. Don't know if Pogacar's obviously riding the. I think I spoke about Pogacar not riding the Vuelta because of he's got the Worlds and Lombardy and stuff like that. So I don't think he's going to ride the Vuelta this year. So it could be, if Saxas does go for it, it could be a very interesting one because Jonas Vingegaard will not be there and Pogacar is potentially not going to be there. Frenchman will win the Tour, but not anytime soon. At the moment, I think Saxas has the best chance, but that is still unlikely in my eyes. Pinot was close too. I can't really debate that. When you say anytime soon, are you talking in the next 5 years or in the next 10 years or something like that? Or do you mean within like the next 2 or 3 years? Because I genuinely do think Saxas, if Saxas does get developed well, I think within the next, not within, with about within the next 5 to 10 years, I think there is a very, very good chance. He'll definitely like is it Alexander or Alexandre? I think it's Alexandre. So like he said, a podium contender 100%, I agree with. But the Tour is something different. Just wrong. There was something wrong with the floor. And the next 3 years, right? Okay, get you now. Yeah, the next 3 the next 3 years, it has Pogacar written all over it. Who else? Let me actually think, because I was actually going to do a TikTok trying to predict the next 5 years of the Tour, and I was controversially going to put Remco in there. But I think Pogacar has the next 2 written. Yes, Del Toro. Yes, Del Toro definitely. 5 is too far to predict, but I mean, you got to you got to add it in there anyway to make it a bit more interesting. But I do think Del Toro will be there. I think. I don't know. I don't know if Vingegaard has one more left in him. I would love to see it. Love to see him have one more left in him. But I just don't know. If Pogacar, God forbid, crashes or something like that, or has to pull out, I think maybe Jonas Vingegaard, but I don't know. He's looking good this season. I mean, it's only his 6th race and his 2nd win, but If he keeps this up, it will definitely be an interesting tour going into it, at least. So it will. So Soren Kragh Andersen caught by the peloton. We're into the final 20k, so I should be changing that. 13 people in, so I will shamelessly ask you to subscribe and like. Be live again tomorrow for stage 7 and stage 6 of both the Pyrenees and Tirreno. Be live for the Milan San Remo next week, and I'll be live for every World Tour race this year. So quite a lot of racing to cover for myself. I think Lipowitz, that is a good shout. Sorry, I didn't even read the rest of your messages. I just seen Lipowitz and I thought you were talking about winning the Tour de France. But Lipowitz is going to have more GC podiums in his career than Remco. I can't argue with that take. It's not a bad take. I heard that in 2027 the Tour will start in the UK. Yes, you are correct. Let me actually see if I can pull that up, because I did have an image of it, but I don't have it anymore, so I can't remember. The first one's in Scotland, I think. Second one, well, the first one starts in Scotland or something like that. Let's see if it's there. Come on, trust it. It's not gonna. There it is. So the first one starts in, and that's in French. Are you kidding me? I think the first one starts in Edinburgh, and then goes to Carlisle. So that's stage 1. So it starts in Scotland, goes to England, and then the second one goes from Keswick to Liverpool. And then the third one is in Wales, Welsh pulled to Cardiff. And the profiles for the stages were released as well. The stage 3 does look very good in the big 3 races. That's about the Lipowitz one, yeah. Well, he's already got, what's that? My memory's shocking. Cool setup, by the way. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks. Usually the background is one solid colour for what tour I'm doing, but because there is 2 going on, I've had to split it in 2. But what was I going to do there? I was going to look at Lipowitz. Lipowitz, third at the Tour. Yeah, so he's already got one. He's already got one podium. So yeah, definitely is a good take, because I do think Jonas Vingegaard. I do think Florian Lipowitz has a good chance of winning a Grand Tour, obviously. Harold Tejada, sorry, I forgot to say Harold Tejada had a puncture, and he's got a couple teammates around him trying to get him back to the peloton. But as it stands, the peloton is 1 minute 24 seconds down the road on the breakaway, which is consisted of Josh Tarling, Igor Arieta, and Arthur Cluckers, Ineos UAE and Shooter. They are 1 kilometre from the intermediate sprint, so they are. So that not really much happening in this stage. 17.2k to go, but not an awful lot happening. I know, it's I've got it up here as well on the screen. I like to have it there just to know the names of the people in the breakaway, and just, for random stats, or like that Harold Tejada puncture, I missed it on the screen, so I was able to see it. So they are a godsend, and I would love to know how they do it, how they have each, like, they have the seconds down to like a T pretty much. Luke Lamperti moving to the front of the peloton here, obviously looking for points in this intermediate sprint. Soren Kragh Andersen, little trekker at the front. Soren Kragh Andersen, another rider behind him, and then there's Vasek. Decathlon on the right hand side, but we've got 3 EF Educations on the wheel of Little Trek. I think that's Luke Lamperti on 4th wheel. He's obviously in the green jersey, so he's sat in about 4th wheel. The peloton are 500 meters from the intermediate sprint. the breakaway have passed it and all. Never mind, they're 1 kilometre from the intermediate sprint. The breakaway's 500 metres. And PCS it chooses the breakaways past that point, but they're at the 1 kilometre bit now. They're showing who's at. Casper Pedersen at the back of the peloton in the polka dot jersey. But I think we're going to see a wee sprint here at this intermediate, obviously from Luc Lamperti. I think he's going to be the only one sprinting. Is there anyone else to note in the points jersey that are of interest? Jonas Vingegaard's 5 seconds behind, or 5 seconds, 5 points behind Luc Lamperti. Anyone else? Vito Barrett, 32 points. Max Canter, 25 points. So no one really in. The only one giving Lamperti a bit of bother is Vingegaard. And that is obviously because of yesterday's, or he got 20 points for, is it 20 points for a win? On a 20 points for a win up a hill or a climb. The breakaway just crossed there. Josh Tarling, no one sprinted but Josh Tarling took maximum points on that one. Have I ever tried Pro Cycling Man? Funny enough, I was asked that question yesterday. No, I have. Well, I have tried it, but I was must have been about 8 or 9 years ago. And when I was watching it, not watching it, when I was playing it, I couldn't get the grips with it. It was doing my head in. So I just stopped. I usually play the Tour de France game, which, the same game every year, but I hope they change it up a bit this year. But the Pro Cycling Manager, I would love to play it. So I would. We've got Söderqvist at the front for Lidl, the Swedish time trial champion. But we've got Lidl here pulling quite hard at the front. Obviously, Vasek looking for a victory here. Trying to reel in this breakaway. 54 seconds from the peloton to the breakaway. I want to see if Lamperti sprints for this. He just cut to a break. Are you kidding me? So we're going to know if there was points given out. Never mind. Also, I'm at a break. I will go back to your question. Pro Cycling Manager, yes, I'd love to try it, but my computer I'm currently on is Apple, and it doesn't support Apple. So if I want to play it, I need to buy a Windows add-on, which is it's 50, 60 quid. I think when I last checked it for the year, and then I have to buy the game on top of that. So I think if I am going to do that, I will buy the next game that comes out, because there's no point in me buying the one this year and then the next one comes out in a couple of months. But yeah, I would love to play Pro Cycle Manager. It looks, I watch, what do you call him? Benji on YouTube. I watch his series. So I watch him on the Pro Cycle Manager. That's how I sort of started wanting to play it. How did I get into cycling? My father, actually. Father, he did cycle, not pro level, but he was very good at amateur level, and he got me into cycling. So I was mountain biked for a few years. Tried the road cycling when I was really young, but I just couldn't. I just didn't really enjoy the road cycling. I loved watching it, but doing the sport, it wasn't enough. I did enjoy mountain biking though, but watching the sport was brilliant. Watch Tour de France with my dad, watch World Championships with my dad and stuff like that. So it is. That is how I got into cycling. You love Benji? Yes, he is. He is very good. So he is with the Pro Cycle Manager. What do you call the other guy? There's another guy that does pro cycling. He does videos with Benji. Fuck. What do you call him? He starts with T. I watched a few of his videos as well. But yeah, they would be the main two for the Pro Cycling Manager. That is why I'm sort of into it. You got into cycling thing because of Benji? Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough indeed. When I was young, I did not enjoy cycling on the road. Yeah, I think because I think one of the main reasons as well is because the country, because the UK, the weather is horrific. So every time you went out, it was raining, it was cold, and then obviously when you're younger, you hate that. And when I say younger, I'm talking like 14. I think it was 14, 15, something like that. Maybe a bit younger. But the weather, it just wasn't fun. And then obviously the roads over here as well. You leave your house and you trip on a pothole. So and the way people drive as well. There was a lot of factors, but yeah, I just didn't end up enjoying it. But like I said, mountain biking was fun. Yeah, when the weather clears up, it's double the fun. Yeah, but when the weather does clear up, over here you get like 1 week of it, and then it's back to fucking grey clouds and cold. So we've got 12.1k to go. The coverage is back on now. I'll just change that. I don't know why I was changing that to 12k, but I'll change it to 12k anyway. 42 seconds. The peloton is behind. So they're closing in here as they come up to this final climb, the Côte de Sagnon. Is that how you pronounce it? But as they come up to that is 41 seconds. They're just finishing up the descent here. They're not quite finished the descent, but say within the next kilometre, the descent will be done for the peloton. Over here, it's a bit better, yeah. Any country in the north of Europe is... the weather is always dreadful. Yeah, everyone who like does cycling or like train cycling or just cycles religiously, they all go down to Spain. So, or is it Spain? There is. I know it is Spain, but there's a certain area in Spain where everyone goes. I can't remember the name of it. But like all the pros train there, and then a lot of other people go and train there. I think there's a few places around Spain, but there is a main one that I can't remember the name of. Let me see if I can get this. So Côte de Sagnon. Oh dear. Doesn't look that hard. 4.1 kilometers long. Tenerife as well, yeah. Tenerife is a big one. So 4.1 kilometers long for this category 2 climb coming up. First kilometer 4.1%, second and third 5.3, and then the final kilometer is 5.6. However, it does say the last 700 meters of this climb are 7.8%. So potential attack, maybe. Calpe, that's it, I think. Or is that even in Spain? It's that area wherever Jonas Vingegaard followed. Because you have them guys as well. I remember when that Jonas Vingegaard got followed and people were talking, saying, yeah, there's people that actually just go out there to look for pros and latch onto the wheel and just record them. That's a tad bit odd, like, but wherever that Jonas Vingegaard incident happened, I think that's the name I'm trying to think of. But yeah, there's Mallorca, Tenerife. Was it Mallorca? This is annoying me. I'm going to have to look it up. With 10k to go, are you kidding me? But it is going to annoy me. We've got Little Tricks still pacing at the front. I'm going to have to try and do double the commentary here. Tenerife. So that's where it happened, apparently. With the Vingegaard. If that's where it happened, that's where because I remember people saying in the comments, yeah, people like specifically go out to this area with GoPros looking to find pros training to try and latch onto their wheel and try and ride with them. So it is Tenerife. You think so? Right, this is Vingegaard fan crash in Spain. Right, Jonas Vingegaard. Right, can you tell us where in Spain? So we've got 34 seconds on the front of the peloton. Malaga? Team you have space after Malaga. So we've got under the final with this. It says Malaga, so yeah, descent near Malaga, Spain. I didn't think that was Malaga, but that's where it apparently happened. We're on to the final climb here. Côte de Sagnon, I think. 31 seconds. The peloton is behind the breakaway. The breakaway still consists of the same three riders. Arthur Cluckers, Igor Arrieta and Joshua Tarling. Ineos now move to the front of this peloton. Victor Campenaerts is one Ineos. Sorry, did I say Ineos? Visma moved to the front. Victor Campenaerts, Ineos rider behind him, and then Jonas Vingegaard on third wheel. Like I said, this climb, 4.1 kilometers long, has an average of 5.1%, but the last 700 kilometers are 7.8%. Arthur Cluckers now drops from the breakaway, so it is just down to Igor Arrieta and Josh Tarling to take it all the way with 25 seconds on the peloton, so it doesn't look like they're going to do it. But I think we're going to see a wee attack here from Vingegaard within the final kilometre of this climb, descent down to the finish, and another win. $3.4k for the breakaway to hit the top of this climb. Josh Tarling at the front of this breakaway. Arrieta just moves from the front. So is that Leonard Kamna there? Is that his first name? Yeah, Leonard Kamna. He's at the front of the peloton here with Vasek on the wheel. Then there's someone from Red Bull. And then there's two riders from Visma, Victor Campenaerts and Vingegaard. And then there's a couple riders from Bahrain, Ineos, Decathlon, Astana, all mumbled up at the back. Favourite cycling climb, I think. I mean, if you go for anything else other than the Alpe d'Huez, I mean, I just looking at the Alpe d'Huez, the stem hairpins going up it, the helicopter shot off it is just brilliant. But I like that one, and there's one in Spain. I see for names of climbs, horrific. But there is one in Spain which is like really, really steep. I can't remember. Was it the one? Alberto Contador one? Ventoux is Mont Ventoux, and yes, that is the one I'm thinking of as well from Spain. They're too good. But Ventoux is brilliant as well. That's another very good climb. But I just like Alpe d'Huez just because, basic, but I just like Alpe d'Huez. I think we're climbing the Alps twice in this year's Tour de France. The final two mountain stages are both up the Alps, which I'll be very excited for. Showing a helicopter shot here as Tarling moves to the front of the breakaway, but you can see the peloton in the distance as Vasek looks to be struggling for little. 35 seconds on the breakaway. The peloton is 33 seconds. There is Arthur Cluckers getting caught by the peloton. Leonard Kamna still at the front. Jonas Vingegaard still on Campernett's wheel, looking very comfortable. The Angliru, I think Angliru. I don't even know. I attempted to try and pronounce that, but I think that is the one I'm on. Whatever one Alberto Contador won his last stage on. Yeah, that is it. That is the climb in Spain I'm on about. I like Ventoux more because I have... Oh, you've climbed it. No need to brag, mate. No need to rub it in. Fair play for climbing it. Fair play to you. Arrieta now at the front of these two. Joshua Tarling on his wheel still. You're going to see the peloton come around this corner in the back. No, the camera doesn't show it. But they're sitting about 7% here. Did you climb it in the summer or the snow when there's like 30 inches of snow on it? But we've got Victor Campenaerts at the front now. Jonas on his wheel. Biniam Girmay now dropping out the back of the peloton. So any Biniam fans here, he is dropped out of the peloton here. 6.3k to go, 1.8 until the top of this climb, and then it is the descent to the finish. 25 seconds on the Tarling, on the breakaway, sorry. Sam Watson as well, dropping out the back of this peloton. See, I'm still in the Tirreno mode, because I'm sitting going, Bahrain, they've got Buitrago and Beo Bilbao, but it's Lenny Martinez. In the summer I did it, but it's the only climb you've ever done. So the only climb you've done is Ventoux. Probably one of the hardest climbs to do. Fair play. Fair play to you. Arrieta still at the front here of this breakaway. Doing a very good turn. Who's this drop? Is that Jensen Plowright, who had a good stage? What stage was it? stage 4, good stage 4. He drops out the back now. 11 seconds now for the breakaway to the peloton as Josh Tarling moves to the front of these two to do his turn, but it looks like they're going to be reeled in pretty quickly here. 1.2k to the top of it. 5.7k to go in general. 5.7k to go for the stage itself, so I'll change that to 5. Luke Lamperti now at the back of the peloton, struggling to hang on. Looks like he's going to drop here in a second. But the gap is now down to 6 seconds. The breakaway is just not that far. Well, it's 6 seconds, but you can see the distance here from the camera angle that they're showing. As the breakaway passed the 1 kilometer sign now, the peloton are just about to pass it themselves. Luke Lamperti, the last person in the peloton, as a gap now creates for him and 3 other riders as they pass the... Oh. Visma bike riders punched his handlebar. He doesn't look too happy at all. Here's that, number 7. Axel Zingle smacked his handlebar. Something must have happened, I don't know. But Lamperti was on the back of the M3 and there was a big gap. He punched the handlebar and Lamperti's trying to get back onto the peloton here. Still 6 seconds. Tarling's still at the front of this breakaway. Exactly 5 kilometers to go now. Still a wee bit of climbing here to go though. As the peloton... Ooh! The peloton just come up the right-hand side. Lenny Martinez, and they hit the breakaway. That's why I was... Lenny Martinez attacks. Jonas Vingegaard on the wheel. Kevin Vacklin as well. Steinhauser, Vasek trying to get there. But Lenny Martinez is the one to attack out the front. He's not gonna... Jonas Vingegaard straight onto the wheel. Not even going to be an issue. Kevin Vacklin on Jonas Vingegaard's wheel. Daniel Felipe Martinez. There's a gap from Vacklin to him as he closes it down. Harold Tejada, I think, is still there. Valentin Perry-Pantera is there as well. Steinhauser. Who's this? Harold Tejada now looks to be attacking out the front as they change the camera to a big stone mountain thing. There's an attack out the front. Don't know who's attacking because Perry-Pantera, I think, from Quickstep is attacking. But they really need to change his camera angle because it is... As they hit the descent now, Perry-Pantera has a gap on the group which contains Steinhauser, Vingegaard, Vacklin. I think Vasek's still there, but there is about 10 riders. 4.1k to go. 4.1. We'll change this to... We'll change that to 4. Steinhauser closes the gap to Perry-Pantera. That is Felipe Martinez of Red Bull in third. There's still a gap to Perry-Pantera. There's Lenny Martinez and Steinhauser are just about to close the gap. Then there's Daniel Felipe Martinez. They need to get a better camera angle here. It's like watching ants. Jonas is obviously still there. Someone from Tudor, which I'm going to assume is Matisse Rondel. Vacquelin's still there. I don't know if Vasek is still... Yeah, Vasek's still there. I've seen the Czech Republic jersey. There's someone else from AF Education there. But I think Harold Tejada is still there as well. I'm not sure. But the gap for Hold up. Harold Tejada's out on his own. What is going on here? They need to give us a camera angle. So Harold Tejada was the one that he attacked when they swapped the camera angles about. So I didn't know he was even up the road. Perry-Pantera is in second. Where the gap to Harold Tejada's big. Perry-Pantera's caught. Steinhauser's trying to attack out the front of this group on the breakaway. But the group still remains the same. Vacklin, Vingegaard, Daniel Felipe Martinez, Matisse Rondel, Lawrence Pithy still there apparently, Vasek, Matteo Trentin, that's a Tudor rider. I thought it was Matisse Rondel. But we're going to get a better camera angle here because 2.3 kilometers to go. My prediction for the stage I stuck on TikTok was Harold Tejada, so I hope he can stay on the front here. So the 16 votes on the poll. Vingegaard 56% winner, Vacklin 6%, Lenny Martinez 12%, and 25% for other. Let me Sorry, I'm still 1.6k to go. My mouse is all over the screen. Still says 4k on your screen. I will change that. So we're coming into the final 1.5k, so I will change it to 1 kilometer to go on your screen. But there seems to be no sign of Harold Tejada up the road. As Vasek moves to the front of this group, it looks like Vasek's gonna have a good sprint on him here. Lenny Martinez at the front now. Vauquelin in third. But Harold Tejada is out on the front on his own. Don't have any gap. But PCS says 5 seconds as Harold Tejada crosses the 1 kilometer banner. Come on, Tejada, win this, please. Go on, please win this. So Harold Tejada is he's into the final kilometer. Don't know about the other boys. Cofidis now moved to the front. Brian Cockard is still there for Cofidis. Matteo Trentin is still there for Tudor. So we've got, and Vasek is there as well. Lawrence Pithy. Dorian Goudon is there for Ineos. Round the left bend, Harold Tejada. Into the town he goes. Any meters as he gets onto what looks like a wee cobbled climb. 500 meters to go. The peloton goes round this bend now. As Ineos move to the front, Dorian Goudon in second wheel. 400 meters for Harold Tejada. Come on, win this. Please win this, Tejada. Out of the seat, Harold Tejada gets. He has a left bend here. We've got Ineos going up that climb now. I think, please don't catch him. Goudon second wheel behind Ineos teammate, but it looks like it is going to be Harold Tejada. Any sign of the peloton coming around the corner? No sign of them yet. Harold Tejada is going to win it. Yeah, there's no way they're getting him. Harold Tejada from Astana, what a win. Speaks on the radio. It's going to be a battle for second, but Harold Tejada is hands in the air as he takes stage 6 of the Paris-Nice. What a win for Astana. What a win for Harold Tejada. Dorian Goudon gets second. Third, someone from NSN. I think Brian Cockard gets fourth. Jonas Vingegaard at the back of that group. No issues for him. No time gaps. I predicted another one. Brilliant. If you did enjoy, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll do that now. I'm live for every World Tour race this year. We've got the group of Luke Lamperti crossing the line now. Congrats, thank you. But yeah, I will wait for the top 10 to come through. If you are just joining, Harold Tejada takes the victory in stage 6 of the Paris-Nice. I know Dorian Goudon was second. But Harold Tejada, brilliant. Was on good form in the UAE Tour. He got fourth up the stage 2 or 3 of the Jebel Mobra, the brand new climb, the Alpe d'Huez of the Middle East. And he got fourth in the GC overall as well at the UAE Tour. Let me actually double check, make sure I'm right. Yeah, fourth in the GC, and it was fourth in stage 3. He got 8th in the Jebel Hafid climb, so he was getting into good form. He got third there yesterday as well, so after seeing the sprint yesterday, I thought, you know what, I have a feeling he'll take today's stage, and he does end up getting it. So I will take that. The sprint for second. Good sprint from Dorian Goudon. He's had a couple good results at this Paris-Nice. Let me see if I can. So we've got the preliminary results for the top 7. I will wait for the top 10. But Goudon, he got fourth in stage 2. They obviously won the team time trial, and then he gets second there today. He got 6th at the Fawn Drom Classic as well just before it. So he's in pretty good form for Ineos as their new signing as well, the French champion. So here we've got the preliminary top 10. Harold Tejada from Astana in first. Dorian Goudon of Ineos takes second. Lewis Askey from NSN takes third. Brian Cockard fourth. Matteo Trentin in fifth. Lawrence Pithy sixth. Kevin Vauquelin 7th, Valentin Perepintre in 8th, Alexander Vlasov 9th, and Alex Bodun in 10th. Are Ineos a GC Classics or Sprinters team? I think they're definitely a GC team for this year. They've got. Do you mean that like for this Paris-Nice, or do you just mean in general? If you mean in general, they're a GC team because they've got Vauquelin, Carlos Rodriguez, and Oscar Onley, 2 of which finished in the top 5 of or top 6 or whatever it was in the. Let me double check. Sorry, the top. Oscar only got 4th at the Tour de France last year, and Vauquelin got 7th. So they did. So they bought 2 top 10 riders from the Tour de France, and yeah, I would say they're a GC team this year. But they do have a good classics team as well. I'm trying to think of a sprinter that they've got, or if I'm just being stupid. I guess Dorian Goudon could be a sprinter if he wanted. Let me see. General classification, no changes at all in that. So Jonas Vingegaard still remains the yellow jersey. No, I don't think they've any sprinters. Ben Swift. Oh, sorry. I forgot all about him. Sam Welsford. He's the only sprinter they've signed. But yeah, if there was a sprint and Sam Welsford was there. Soler. Did I get the wrong top 10? Or are you on about the Tour de France? Oh, sorry, you're on about the GC of the Pyrenees. Yeah, Marc Soler's in 6th, but he's, 8 minutes down. Harold Tejada moves up into 10th. But yeah, another good day of racing. So I will end it there. If you want to see my predictions for tomorrow's stage, go and follow my Instagram. It's the Final K on Instagram. There's a couple of dots in there, but that's that. I will see you tomorrow, I guess, if any of you join me tomorrow for Stage 7 and Stage 6 of the Pyrenees and the Tirreno Adriatico. But, yeah, let me actually check the poll here. 17 votes, 59% Vingegaard. See you later, Alexandra. 59% Vingegaard, 6% Vauquelin, 12% Lenny Martinez, and 24% other. But yeah, thanks for watching the Final K. I will see you yet again. I will see you tomorrow, and all the best.